What is up, guys? It is your LOL support here. Be sure to give this video a huge thumbs up, like us on Facebook and Twitter to ask us questions and to receive news on the channel. Links for both will be in the description below. And last, be sure to tick that subscribe button to join our team, but more importantly, to join our family. Alright guys, see ya.
But now that you're gone, I can fly.
What is up, guys? It is your LOL support here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Renekton, the Butcher of the Sands, and this is going to be a guide for him in the top lane. So without further ado, let's get into Renekton's abilities. First off, we're going to go into his passive, which is Reign of Anger. Now for those of you who don't know, Renekton is a type of champion that does not use a mana pool. Rather than using a mana pool, Renekton relies solely on his cooldowns and builds up something called Fury. Now, Fury with Renekton is a little bit of, it's where a good Renekton and a great Renekton are going to be separated. So, when you have 50% Fury, your abilities are going to be doing a little bit different of a damage source, I guess you could say. They're going to get augmented once you're above 50 Fury. But, let's go into the Reign of Anger passive.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
So what happens is every time you auto attack somebody with your passive, you gain 5 Fury with each one. And using an ability will build his Fury. However, unless you are at 50 Fury or more, then your ability will use the Fury. I know this sounds a little complicated, but you'll understand in a second. And when Renekton falls below 50% health, his Fury gains are increased by 50%. So this is good to know if you're very low health and you're still in the fight and you got your ult ticking, your Fury will build up faster and you're gonna get those augmented abilities a little bit faster. Okay, so let's go into his Q, Call of the Meek. Active, Renekton deals physical damage to all enemies within a range and gaining 5 Fury for each enemy target hit, and healing for some of the damage dealt up to a cap. And Renekton heals for 20% of the damage dealt to champions and 5% of the damage dealt to minions and monsters. Now if you augment this, as you can see right here, we just got invaded and we are going to be taking the enemy's red buff because we know that they're going to be doing the same to us. And right here, rather than taking the buff and just leaving one little monster, we're going to take the whole camp so that we get a timer on their initial red, and this will come into benefit later on when we start continuously taking his red. However, we predict, well, I was saying to my team, yeah, Pantheon's probably going to leave just 1 or 2 minions, so we'll have timers of both his red and our red at the same time, so let's just clear the camp. So that's why we did that. And so once you have a Fury bonus on Call of the Meek, it deals 50% additional damage, and the heal is doubled to 40% against champions and 10% against monsters. And this scales with 120% AD with the Fury and 80% AD with normal. And this tends to be the ability that I choose to max first, is my Q. Now let's go into his Ruthless Predator. Active, Renekton's next basic attack will hit twice, stunning his target for 0.75 seconds. And this stun does not go up with levels. And deals physical damage equal to a base amount plus a percentage of his attack damage. Each hit applies on-hit effects. So if you're running Black Cleaver, you'll have 2 stacks of your Black Cleaver on. If you're running Bloodthirster, you'll get 2 heals of the Bloodthirster. And etc, etc. Now if you have a Fury bonus on your Ruthless Predator, you will strike your opponent 3 times and deal an additional 50% damage, and it increases the stun duration to 1.5 seconds, so the stun duration is doubled on this. And the AD scaling goes up to 225. So if you say are under tower and they are choosing to tower dive you, but you have 50% Fury, I would probably use the Fury on the stun, and then try and heal up and slice and dice and try and dodge. But the stun under a turret is great for when they try and tower dive you. So now, as you guys probably heard, I said slice and dice, and you're like, well, what is slice and dice? I do that with my tomatoes when I make a salsa. And no, that's not the right kind of slice and dice we're talking here. We're talking about Renekton's E ability. On the first cast of Slice and Dice, which is just Slice, Renekton dashes forward, dealing physical damage to enemies hit along the way. And if he hits a target with Slice, he also gains the ability to Dice for 4 seconds. And when you slice, you can slice through terrain, so you can slice through thin walls. So keep this in mind, and also use the reset on your slice and dice to get additional gap close. So if you know wraiths are up, slice through wraiths, and because you hit the wraith, you'll be able to dice out. And as you can see right there, that's a very basic harass combo with Renekton. You slice through a minion to gap close to your enemy laner. You Ruthless Predator him. Then you use your Q to get the heal off, and then you dice back through the minions over to where you are. See right there, I get my Q, and I chose to continue my dice towards him because I had somewhat of kill potential, but he had burnout active, so I couldn't kill him there, but I did force him to have to back or stay in lane very low health. So you're going to see I'm going to start pushing this lane into his tower, so he has to make a decision, either to lose CS or potentially get dove on. So we're just kind of applying a little bit of pressure here and there. I barely missed my Q there, but oh well. So let's go into the dice. Active, Renekton dashes forward, dealing physical damage, yada yada yada. If you have Fury, however, dice deals an extra 50% damage, and it shreds the armor of his target for the next 4 seconds. And this armor reduction does scale with the level of Renekton's Slice and Dice, and it starts off at 15%. And caps out at 35% armor shred, which is a good amount of damage, or a good amount of armor shred. And Renekton's last ability is Dominus, and Dominus gives Renekton bonus health just for the ult duration at the start of the, or on the cast time of the ult, and this is 200, 400, and 800. Active, Renekton empowers himself with the dark energies for 15 seconds, enlarging his size and gaining bonus health. While in this state, he deals magic damage each second to enemies within a 150 range and generates 5 fury per second. So you're going to be able to be generating a good amount of fury in this, so it might be a good idea to usually start this a little bit earlier rather than start this in the middle of the fight. That's just a suggestion. Obviously, play to... Ugh, man, my phone is blowing up. I'm sorry, guys. This obviously will vary depending on your situation, but I like to start up my Dominus before I get into the fight, so my Fury has time to build up to 50 Fury, and I can get into the fight and just start wrecking right away. So that is all of his abilities. Now let's get into some of the gameplay and the meat of this guide. So as you can see right there, we took the second red buff, and because we were able to keep timers on his red, we're able to basically ensure that our top lane, i.e. me, is going to have a consistent red buff on him. And Pantheon, since he did not clear our red, does not have the timer, so he is now at a disadvantage for his early level 1 invade. Right there, popping the Dominus early, so I have my 50% fury gain. And hang on, I want to go back really fast. I want to go into what I did here. Alright, so let's go to manual camera. Okay, so let's slow this down. So what I did right here was I popped my Dominus off screen so he can't see. If you go to purple, he was just able to see once I turned that corner. But anyways, I started my Dominus, so right here I'm able to gain my 50th Fury stat. So I'm going to think, okay, if I can Ruthless Predator him, that'll stun him for 1.5 seconds. Now what I do is I dash, and after I dash, I move myself in front of him, because had I stayed here and he would have Dragon Descent, he would have gone straight through and he wouldn't have brought me with him. But since I walked a little bit in front of him because I knew he was going to Dragon Descent out, he carried me with him, and all I had to do from there was dice, and I was able to gap close more efficiently than had I not walked in front of him right there. So as you can see, we were able to burn the flash, Moomba came in, got the kill, and we were able to pick that up very cleanly. So that was just an example of me just knowing what Shyvana's ult does, and knowing that, hey, if she carries me with her ult, that's going to help me out, because it's going to be able to put me right next to her and be able to position me so that I can get more damage off on her without burning any sort of summoner like Flash or something like that. So that's a little tip for you guys if you're ever fighting Shyvana and you know you can kill her. Just walk in front of her ult so that she carries you with her, and you kind of have to predict where she's going to go. So right here what I did was I told the Amumu, hey, let's put pressure on top, and what's going to happen is either A, she's going to walk back in the lane, in which she'll lose turret, or B, because we're putting turret pressure, she's going to be forced to TP to the turret. And now what TPing to the turret does is, I know the cooldown of TP is 5 minutes, but since she did it to a turret, the cooldown is reduced by 1 minute. So she now has a time window of 4 minutes that if I kill her, I'm going to get the tower, and we're going to gain Baron control. So now Shyvana's on a cripple. She can't base because I'll get the tower, because she has no TP, and I know that. So I know that, okay, I have 4 minutes to get aggressive on the Shyvana and potentially get either a kill or make her base and pick up a tower off of that. So I'm going to be keeping that in the back of my mind. Plus I have a red buff too, so I want to use that. So right here I slice through, get my Ruthless Predator off, and get my heal off, Call of the Meek, and dive back through to my minions. So right here, just kind of forcing her to use burnout defensively and just getting as much damage off on her as I can. I see that my Ignite is up, so I'm really looking to go in on her since she has to stay, and it's forcing her to be in a bad situation. So please take note of this, guys. How you can win a top lane is by pressuring her and knowing her cooldowns. So let's keep going here. As you can see, she still has a cooldown on her TP. So right there, I slice, Call the Meek, and I don't know what she was trying to do there, but I think she knew she was dead there and just kind of stood off. So because her TP is down, I know that the death timers are a little bit shorter, but I do know that I'm going to be able to get this turret. And also I'm able to deny her a good amount of CS as well. So that's an example of knowing all your cooldowns, knowing the cooldowns of other summoners, and everything like that. And I knew her flash was down as well because she used it during the last fight. So we're just going to be farming up this wave. We really want to make sure that we have a good CS advantage over her, and we're pressuring top because Pantheon is camping bot a little bit. So we want to make sure that we're pressuring other objectives. So right here, after you secure, hang on, I'm going to put this in a manual. So after you secure top tower and you have a significant lead, she's level 7, I am level 9. So, and if you look at the CS, 63 to 39, so I'm doubling her CS right now. But I have been roaming a little bit. I have been trying to counter jungle, so my CS isn't quite where it should be. But oh well. So right here, what you do is once you take top tower, all of this becomes your area to play with. Because once you get the tower, from the next tier tower to the mid lane tower, that's the area of vision on your side that you get. So by taking this tower, we basically unlocked all of that vision right there. So use that to your advantage, ward up, and use that area to gank. TF is a very low level, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, and I was telling Efi, hey, let's come for a gank here. So since he was able to force TF out, and I know he has low health, what I'm doing is by standing right against this wall, I'm not getting hit by this turret, but I'm not getting hit by that turret. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of proxying the wave and allowing this wave to push up to tower, so that if TF does return to lane, we can tower dive him. If not, and Pantheon shows, we can still tower dive him as well. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of waiting around right here, and I noticed that TF is sticking around, and he doesn't need to. And if you take a look, my Ignite is down, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the minions to slice and dice to the TF. So let's see what this looks like. So right here, slice, dice, Call the Meek, or slice, dice, Ruthless Predator, and then I gave the kill off to Ethan. So let's backtrack a little bit to show you guys that cool looking play. Okay, so right there, I didn't know if he was gonna go backwards towards his other turret, so I kind of just sliced right here and then diced this way so that I can get close to him, get my stun off, get the auto attack, and then Ethan was able to pick up the kill there. Okay, so that's an example of what you're supposed to do as a top laner should you push lane hard enough and you guys gain the advantage in top lane. So right here, all we're doing is we're just trying to take down this turret as fast as possible, and we're trying to put pressure. See, so now that we've taken that turret, let's now assess the vision that we have. So we basically have that much of the map. So from here to here on this side, so shade all this in, we have that vision now. And now we have all of their jungle on top side, basically, other than right here. That's all of our area now, because we're taking these early objectives, these early towers, and we're able to ward up and pressure properly. So we're going to speed this up just a little bit. The way to build Renekton, there's a lot of paths that you can take. And let's go into this right here. So we're just going in for a gank. We know that her turret's gone, so simply dodging the ultimate that she threw down there, and we're just kind of slowly chasing her. I think Amumu wanted to give the kill off to me, but Ethan ended up taking it. But oh well. So right here we have a team fight coming up, right? So right now, in my sights, let's pause here. Okay. So I have two objectives right now. I need to protect Ethan, but at the same time, I see Pantheon right here. So we're gonna go for this Blitz first, because I do have my Ruthless Predator charged up, and I get my ult does run out right here. So I'm gonna call the Meek on the Pantheon. So right there, I knew Pantheon was kind of jumping towards me, so I slid into the bush so I could try and dodge his Heartseeker strike. However, TF's ult is on, and TF ults right into the bush. And right here, I have two choices. I can go for the Pantheon, or I can try and save my Ziggs. And I do try and go for the Ziggs save, however, I was not quick enough, and my stun was not up, so Ziggs is gonna die here. And now it's a 1v1, me versus the TF. And I know that in 1v1 I can probably outtrade him, but since I just got ignited right there, it's going to be a little bit harder for me. So what's going to happen is I'm ignited, and I know this. So I know that TF is going to be tunneling, and same with Pantheon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run around the wall, and let's change the vision here to purple side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run past the wall, I'm going to slice through and cull the Meek, and the AoE should be enough to hit Pantheon and give me just that extra sliver of health to survive this ignite. So right here, what I'm trying to do is I break vision, right? And we're viewing this all from purple side. So I break vision. Right now, they're trying to face check the bush. Right here, slide through, cull the Meek, get my extra health back, and
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
Now it's Anthony and me versus this Pantheon, and all I need to do is outrun him and break vision so that he can't spear me. And right here, he goes back, fights the Amumu. I'm not gonna go in and try and kill steal this. He worked very hard and he was able to keep me safe. So we're gonna give him the kill right here. So that was an example of a good play where I knew my limits, I knew how to break vision, and I knew how much I was gonna get healed for with Call of the Meek, and it was enough to save me from the ignite and to keep me alive in that whole situation. So we're gonna fast forward, and typical things that I like to build on Renekton is just straight health and armor, and a little bit of CC as well through Randuin's Omen. If I'm doing well and I'm very much ahead, I will go ahead and get the Randuin's Omen. If I am not as far ahead and I'm having a little bit of a trouble getting money, I'll go with the Sunfire Cape, because the little AoE is going to help me push lanes, and its health and its armor, it's not as much as Randuin's would give me, but it's an alternative that's a little bit cheaper. So if I'm struggling in the monies department, that's what I'll usually go for. And then what I start, some people like to start Dorn's Shield, some people like to start Dorn's Blade. It depends on the matchup. If you really think that you can win the matchup, like I knew I could beat a Shyvana in lane. So what I did was I made sure I got Dorn's Blade instead of Dorn's Shield, because I didn't want to waste I didn't want to waste the good stats that Dorn's Blade has, just because I was unsure and passive. So right here, because we're so ahead and because we have such control of their jungle, we're going to be trying to attempt an early Baron. And I think our first attempt was not successful just because Amumu is not the... his tiers do percent damage, however, it's not damage that takes down Baron like say a Warwick or like a Udyr. So had he been a Udyr or a Warwick or something like that, or maybe even a Elise, we could have taken this early Baron as early as we attempted. But because it was an Amumu, which I'm not complaining about Amumu, I love CC, but because it was Amumu, we weren't able to get the Baron off. So right there, just simply punishing the Shyvana for overextending with no wards and no turret. So it was an easy pickup. My red buff did end up getting the kill there, and right here I'm just pushing up the lane. We see Pantheon down bot, so we figure, hey, let's go ahead and just try for this Baron. Let's see what happens. So we're gonna speed this up a little bit just so you can see our attempts. Keep in mind that we were not able to do this successfully. However, I don't believe either of us died here. So all I'm doing is just ulting, trying to get slice and dice through. As you can see, we just came short in the damage department, but it's okay. Nothing lost from that, you know. We just figured out, okay, we can't really do Baron just yet, but Pantheon was bot, so there was really no risk of getting killed and then getting the Baron stolen from us. So right here, let's slow this down. As you can see right here, I have red buff. And not only do I have red buff, I have a 3-level advantage over this Blitzcrank and a 2-level advantage over this Shyvana. And I have a turret. So my aggression, I like to be very aggressive, I like to make plays. So I'm thinking, you know what, I can kick both of their butts. I don't want to say any bad words on here because I don't know how old the people are watching this. But we're going to say that. We're going to say butts for now. So right here, just getting off decent damage onto the Blitzcrank. I slice through the Shyvana, and then I end up dicing through the Shyvana so that I can get the gap closed over to the Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank tries to silence me. I'm just going to continuously auto attack and keep that red buff slow on him. And I do pop the ignite on the Blitzcrank, so now I just auto attack him one more time. And now my focus turns to the Shyvana. So Shyvana's trying to out-trade me right here, and she does have blade with she does have cutlass, not blade, sorry. And I'm just too beefy right now for her to do anything. And I pop off the Rand Ruins right there just in case she decided to run, but there's really nothing she could do there. My Cold and Meek was going to be up soon anyways, and I had 100% Fury, or 100 Fury. And it really wouldn't have done much, and she was kind of just trying to do as much damage on me as she could before she died. So right there, that was just an example of knowing how much you are ahead. You know, don't be afraid of, you know, something that I don't get is a lot of lower level people are very scared of Baron. It has 1100 health and very little resistances, and if they're ahead, they're scared to push it. You know, push the limits. Like, you know, you should be revving out. You should be doing your best to see how far you can take a lead and how far you can push one. So right here, I'm like, all right, guys, we're doing Baron. Fuck it, we're doing Baron. Oops, sorry. Duck it. There we go. So Jinx is pinging me off of this, and I was starting to get frustrated. I was like, don't tell me not to do Baron. It's very easy. It's not going to be as bad as you think it is. So right there, Amumu starts tanking, I pop my ultimate, get the passive health off from my ultimate, and we're getting lifesteal and everything like that, and we're just slicing and dicing through this Baron. And we're able to pick up a very, very easy Baron, and that's pretty much it, man. Like, if you're that far ahead as a Renekton, there's no reason you shouldn't be pushing all of those objectives. And an 18-minute Baron is going to mean a lot for our team's team fighting. So you're going to start seeing on the little news feeds to the side right here, we're going to start getting double kills, single kills, triple kills, whatever, you name it, we're going to be getting it because I was able to pressure my lane early. We were able to win lane, gain turrets, and push objectives, and have vision. And because we had all of that working for us, we were able to secure a very early Baron. And early Barons do help out a lot in this game. and that was also their fault for not warding up Baron, but that's the thing, no one at lower levels expects an 18-minute Baron. So when it does happen, a little sidestep there, like a G. But when an early Baron like that happens, just no one knows what to do with it. Like, they don't know how to handle it, they don't know what to do. So their team's going to eventually crumble, and this will be a very early surrender. But yeah, that's pretty much it with Renekton. You just got to be really aggressive, and you have to know the champion, know how to work with your Fury. Know that, okay, if I have... Oh my goodness, right here, okay. So, let me finish that past thought. So just know how much Fury you have, know what each thing passively does with your Fury. If you want to drop their armor, make sure that you save the armor shred of dice. And I say dice because it's not your slice that drops the armor, it's the dice. So if you want to drop their armor really fast, just go slice and dice, and then start doing more damage. If you want a longer stun and you have 50 Fury, use it on Ruthless Predator. If you need more health and you need more sustain, save the 50 Fury for Cold and Meek. So just know which one does what. And trust yourself. You're a Renekton, you're ahead, trust yourself. Okay, so right here, since that happened really fast, I'm sorry guys, let me back this up just a little bit more. Okay, so we're at 1952. So, had Ziggs not ulted there, I still would have gone in on this because I'm a full health basically Renekton, and I have my ult up, and Shyvana is at 800 health, he is at 470 health. I was gonna flash in and do this jazz anyways, but the Ziggs ult was like, okay, well, Pantheon's gonna die, let me just go in. So what I do is, I flash, and had this ult not been here, what I do is I'm gonna switch this over to manual. Directed manual. Okay, so what you do is you flash, slice, dice, Ruthless Predator, Cull the Meek, ult. Like, that's what I would do in this situation. So instead, since I saw it killed him, I flashed to cancel the little animation of my ult. I slide in front of her. Did you see that? So yeah, we're gonna back this up just one more time. I apologize, guys. Okay, so 52, speed this up. Alright, gets the kill. Okay, we're gonna slow this down. So I flash. Right now, I'm gonna ult, or I'm gonna slice in front of her in case she decides to ult. So right here, slice in front of her. So now if she should ult, it's going to carry me with her. And then I'll just use Ruthless Predator, and that got her stunned for 1.5 seconds, and that was enough time for me to just get off my damage and win that trade just outright, very easy. And right here the enemy team does end up surrendering. However, you can't really blame them. We had a lot of control throughout this whole game. So guys, that was the Renekton guide. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about Renekton that I simply didn't answer in this guide, just please feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. I really do try and do my best to get everything covered here, but if I don't, just let me know, and I would love to let you guys know. And we will be having another video out this Friday, and I will give you a hint at what the guide will be. I'm not sure what the guide can be because I can't really say that. All I know is that guide can go where it pleases. So if you guys figured it out, post it in the comments down below if you'd like. Other than that, I really hope you enjoyed this guide, and please feel free to leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already to become part of the family. And thank you very much, guys, for all your support. Again, comments, if you have questions, post them down below. And that was the Renekton guide, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. So without anything else to say on this topic, this has been your LOL support, and I am out of here.